So feedback from others is really important in this evaluation process. I can look at myself and identify, like we talked about in the last class, what I do well and what I need to work on or where my weaknesses are, and that's great. But when I can ask other people who know me, who are on my team, who have coached me, or who are in my family, or who I work with, if I can ask them the same questions. So let's say you're a person that I know pretty well, and I believe you have my best interest at heart. That you're going to be frank with me. You're not going to sugarcoat it, but you're also going to tell me, not hold back and tell me the things that you think I do extremely well. So it's both. And I say to you, hey, I'm really on this journey to understand myself better, or I'm taking a class, or whatever the reason is. Because sometimes it's kind of weird just going up and asking somebody, hey, I want you to give me some feedback about myself. For what reason? You're taking a class, or you're on a path. And I ask you, so tell me, what do you think my best qualities are? What can you rely on me and depend on me for? What do you look up to me about and respect me for? How, in what ways you trust me? And you tell me. I take notes, always take notes. When somebody's talking to you about this, it's good to capture this, because you'll forget some of it if you don't. And so you ask and you take notes. And then you say, now listen, I want you to not hold back, and I want to get better. So I'm asking you one or two areas. I always say one or two, because sometimes people will hit you with 10, right? Too much. I don't want to hear that much of the things that I suck at, or that I need to improve. But give me a couple things that you would think, if I did these less, or I did them more, or I changed it, that I would be better. Maybe that I would help the team be better, or the company. What are those things? And you ask, and the person says, hey, so I did this exercise. And let me tell you one that one of my friends said. He said, I love your stories. And he's an older guy, athlete, golfer, used to play baseball. And so I would tell him, I hung out with Tim Lincecum, or I went down and did some work with Dwight Howard, or, of course with the Warriors, with Chris Mullin, and different Joe Montana. And I'd be in the middle of a story of something cool that I learned, and my phone may ring, or I got to go. And he says, it's so rude of you that you just kind of go, got to go, and you don't finish your story. And then maybe you say, you're going to follow up on it, and you don't. And you kind of leave me hanging. So, how it makes me feel is don't even tell me anymore. Ooh. So when he told me that, it kind of stung, because I don't want to be that guy. But I was that guy, and I could definitely see him telling me how I did it. So I changed it. So now, even probably since COVID, I was in my backyard talking to him, and something happened. I had to go. And I said, hey, I'm going to call you back and finish the story, because I remember your lesson to me, but I really got to take this call right now. And he said, cool. And then as soon as I hung up, I called him back. So you learn, how would I have known that? That's not that big of a deal. It's not like somebody telling you you're lying to them, or you're lazy, or whatever, which could be the truth too, right? Somebody could say that, but it wasn't that heavy of a thing. But it affected him. It kind of brought him down, and it made him not necessarily want to connect with me as much. And I didn't want that. So that feedback changed me. As you know from class, I like being on time. I let you out early, but I don't like to start late. So I wasn't always that way. I used to be late all the time, till I was in college, and my tutor, who's a personal friend of mine 40-some years later, she moved from Pennsylvania to California to Santa Rosa, ironically, so weird, we reconnected. And I tell her that the reason I have sort of a hang up on time, of always being on time, or if I'm late, I'm texting people telling them I'm late, is because she kind of scarred me. I was she was a tutor of mine at the library. We all had to have tutors, and she was getting paid, But I was walking with my teammates, after practice, kind of strolling, probably 20 minutes late or so, and she was standing on the steps of the library, and she just ripped me a new one. She was in my face, calling me, swearing at me, all these names that I thought I was better than her, and I felt that big. My teammates were laughing at me, and from then on, I have become kind of, almost paranoid about keeping people waiting for me. It was a great lesson. I got some critical feedback from her, right? I didn't even ask for it, but she gave it to me. So that's why we ask, so we can improve and we can get better. So the exercise is find 5, 6, 7 people in your inner circle, in your orbit, people that can give you real honest feedback. What you do well, what you need to improve. Doesn't mean because they say it, you're going to do it. But they may say something that can change your life. So give that a try.